It's a world beyond science, a place where ghosts and demons live, a realm that skeptics say does not exist. But what about this photographic evidence?
When you look in that picture, it will just raise the hair on the back of your neck.
Exorcisms happen in Russia every day.
What you're saying is we couldn't get rid of you by praying to God.
And one man believes he saw the devil take over a young boy's body.
I could see his hands. He wasn't doing it.
The Ghostbusters are back.
What was that in there? There was something that was on there.
Zombies are real.
When he came into the hospital, he actually stated that he was a zombie.
And haunted houses really can mess with your head.
I know somebody's been killed here. You don't have to bull me.
Find out everything you need to know about the supernatural.
Why can't sharks stop moving? Am I safer under a bridge or in my car? Will we ever transplant a human brain? What regulates the body's temperature? What makes us hot or cold-blooded? Are there more natural disasters now than ever before? Everything you need to know.
They say seeing is believing. That's why cameras come in handy when you're hunting for ghosts. This eerie footage just may be the most convincing ghostly figure ever caught on tape. It comes from a closed-circuit security system at England's Hampton Court Palace. This castle was home to Henry VIII and his 6 wives, 2 of whom lost their heads. 3 days in a row in 2003, palace guards were alerted to an open fire door, but upon investigating, saw no one. But when they checked the security tapes, they were stunned to see a hooded figure standing in the doorway. Though the palace has never officially stated that they have a ghost on their hands, they haven't been able to explain the image either. But they're not the only ones with unexplainable spooky pictures. People have been claiming to catch spirits on film since the beginning of photography. This image from an English stately home dates back to 1936. In 1982, photographer Chris Brackley took a photograph of the interior of London's St. Bodolph's Church. Later he realized he was not alone when he took the photo. A mother in Queensland, Australia, took a picture of a loved one's gravestone, but the print showed the ghostly image of a baby. Believers say it's the likeness of a child buried nearby. Are these phantoms or forgeries? Skeptics argue that the oldest ghost portraits uncannily appear exactly when photographers first had the technology to make double exposures.
Only when glass plate negatives were developed, allowing double exposures, did spirits begin to appear. You can see this gentleman is appearing with a ghostly figure, and you can see the overlap. This is almost certainly a double exposure.
Sometimes it doesn't take a double exposure to create a supernatural shot. All it takes is a hat pin. To the modern eye, the Cottingley Fairies photos taken in 1917 look pretty fake. But in their day, even Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, author of the Sherlock Holmes stories, was convinced that they were real. The 2 young girls later admitted to cutting the pictures of fairies out of a storybook, then sticking them into the ground with hat pins. But seemingly ghostly pictures are not always deliberately faked. This ghostly vortex is actually just the flash reflecting off the camera strap. And these disembodied orbs, most likely dust particles that were not visible to the naked eye.
People don't usually see orbs, they just show up in their pictures. A telltale sign that they're not ghosts, that they're simply little glitches.
But not all paranormal pictures are so easy to dismiss. Myrtle's plantation is supposedly home to many spirits, but only one is believed to have been caught on camera.
We call it the Chloe picture. You can literally count the boards on the house through her body. When you look in that picture, it really will, it will just raise the hair on the back of your neck.
Chloe was a slave at the Louisiana plantation in the 1800s. According to legend, she fatally poisoned members of her master's family after he cut off her ear for eavesdropping. She wore a green turban to hide the scar.
It just so resembles the uniform that she wore, the black garb with the turban on her head and the small feather coming out of the top of her turban.
Is it a ghost or just a shadow? The human brain loves to find faces wherever it looks. Who hasn't seen the man in the moon? But some ghost pictures leave little room for the imagination. This clear image of a little girl in a burning building was taken on November 19th, 1995. This photo was taken from across the street as the town hall in Wem, England burned to the ground.
I think it's extremely unlikely that anybody could have stood here to have their photograph taken this close to the fire.
Some experts maintain the photo has not been doctored. Others are not so sure. They suggest that someone superimposed the girl's face onto the picture. In today's digital age, everyone has a camera in their back pocket, so it's easier than ever to snap creepy images, but also easier than ever to fake them. Got ghosts? Don't worry, some real-life Ghostbusters are just a phone call away. Rumor has it the ghost of Edgar Allan Poe still haunts his old home in Baltimore. A team of ghost hunters from the Baltimore Society for Paranormal Research set out to find some authentic evidence. These guys have ghost gear, and they're not afraid to use it.
This is the coveted tri-field meter. Over here is our electronic voice phenomenon kit. The concept here is to record ghosts on tape.
Electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP readings, are sounds that you don't hear with your ears, but do when you play back the tape. Vince and his team have gadgets galore, but they are not alone. Paranormal professional, psychic medium Barb Mallon also visits the house on the hunt for Poe's spirit.
We ask for protection on each one of us during the walk through this house. We ask for...
In other words, she talks to dead people.
If there's a specific amount of activity in a home, usually it's just a person that's stuck for whatever reason, and they need help to get to the other side, to cross over. So it's basically going in and finding out what they want, what they need, and how we can help them.
Poe spent just a few poverty-stricken years in this small two-story house. Did he leave a part of himself behind? If so, will either set of Ghostbusters pick up his supernatural scent? Before long, the Paranormal Society's equipment is sensing something.
Supposed to be reading north that way. Is it reading north this way?
The window just banged too.
Did you hear the window bang?
Yeah. Anyone tap tap?
Somebody tapped on the window.
So there's a second pane on the other side.
There's no way they can tap it.
Is there a breeze coming in through there?
No breeze. I felt a forbidden spirit enkindling within.
Reading one of Poe's stories while sitting in Poe's chair also causes a stir. Ghost hunters believe when a tri-field reading fluctuates, it could be evidence of a ghostly presence.
The tri-field meter spiked, and it's just gave me the chills. I definitely think it was spell. I definitely think reading his story enticed him.
The Paranormal Society tries to make a recording, or EVP, of the spirit.
Who's the President of the United States?
What is your occupation?
Are you married?
And gets something.
What was that?
Rewind that.
Yeah. There was something that was something that was on there.
But what is it? Barb Mallon also felt a presence in the same room.
Someone just touched my hand.
And in Poe's chair.
The man who sat in his chair had an emotional feeling about him.
She was also drawn to the back bedroom window.
Okay, it's with the windows. They showed me some flashes of violence. I just got quick fighting or violence right over in this area.
Conclusive evidence? Or just coincidence?
This business, you really don't want to say definite, absolutely 100% sure, but I would say there's a really, really good chance something actually paranormal was happening in the Poe house tonight.
At first, I felt that the presence was with me. I felt very emotional. It felt like the person was here in the room, very briefly, but very, very strong. So yeah, I felt like I had a presence with me sitting in the chair.
Do the similarities prove the house is haunted? No. But if you appreciate Poe's creepy prose, you too may be able to feel the eerie vibes at 203 Amity Street.